Now, if you're a coach or educator and you're trying to work out if Skool is the right platform for you and if it's actually the best community platform out there for educators, then this video is for you. Now, I've been using Skool for nearly 2 years, so I wanted to create a video on the good, the bad, the ugly, the features that work really well, what's changed, and really what you can do with the platform now so you can make an informed decision to see if it's going to be the right setup and the right platform for you and your business. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that Skool is a community-first platform. So what do I mean by that? It's basically community driven. It's all about the community. So although they have lots of education stuff inside and they have classroom areas and they have lots of different things for educators and coaches, they've really focused on more of the community angle. All of the money and investment and time is going into that. So if you're looking to perhaps create maybe more of a student experience where you want a lot more student heavy features and things that you can do with the students, so it's really the student and the learning experience first and the community kind of an afterthought, then Skool might not be the platform for you. But as we go through this video, you'll start to understand what really makes Skool special. Because I can tell you now, when I first started using Skool, I didn't actually like it. And I very nearly decided to go with another platform because there was things I just didn't get. I didn't understand. It felt a bit crappy, felt a bit basic, and I didn't understand what all the hype was. But as soon as I understood the shift and where the value truly lies in the Skool platform, everything started to change. And then I was hooked, and then I understood what everybody was going on about. So what we need to understand is that Skool is very similar to Facebook. So as you can see here, it's sort of Facebook groups. You've got that sort of feed. You've got the standard sort of feel of things where you've got posts, and it's just one feed down the side, all your sort of things across the top for you to be able to select. And it feels very similar, but also very simple and basic at the same time. And this is one of the things that most people didn't and maybe still don't to a degree like. It feels a little bit basic. There's not doing anything fancy. It's literally just another sort of version of Facebook, perhaps not even displaying the images quite as well, because as you can see, you got the GIFs, you got the videos, you got the images displayed as small images that need to be opened up to view. So we could argue that in some ways, it's not doing things even quite as well as Facebook. But that is the goal of this. They want to make it simple and friendly, so it's very similar to Facebook and other platforms that you know how to use. A lot of the things you can do inside are very similar in the way that you create posts, in the way that you engage with posts and everything else. It feels familiar. It feels simple. It works well on the app. It works well on websites and on your computer. So it kind of just works across the board. And that is the goal of Skool. They are not trying to be the next Go High Level or ClickFunnels. They're not trying to be an all-in-one course building platform. They are a community-first platform, and their overriding goal, the big enemy that they're going after, is Facebook. They're trying to become the ecosystem. Skool is an ecosystem, and this is the shift that really changed things for me once I realized this, and that's where the value truly is, because people have been using Facebook groups as high ticket sellers and so on for a long time. They've been creating their communities. Maybe they have a paid one, maybe they have a free one, but they were using these to basically elevate people and to run their businesses out of them because they knew that everybody was already on the Facebook platform. So they could run ads, they could market to people, they could speak to people, and they could gradually filter them in. People already had the phone in their pocket. So therefore, getting clients to use the app, they didn't have to download anything else, was very easy and very straightforward. And in the past, it didn't work because nobody could compete with Facebook groups. But that's changing because groups obviously can't get in front of all of their members very easily. The algorithm is such a pain in the butt. There's so many limitations. You have to almost pay to play to use it these days. So Skool has risen and filled that demand perfectly. And it's moving incredibly quickly. It's still in the early stages, but it's moving really, really quickly. And once you realize it's an ecosystem, you realize that it can actually bring in clients. And this is something we're going to get into more. But the goal of Skool in 2026 is apparently, and I'm seeing this more, to make sure that they are now becoming a traffic source to grow our businesses. So you maybe have one outside source like YouTube that's bringing in people, but then now Skool can bring in people as well. And there's an ecosystem of customers already on there and already with the app in their pocket. So that's where the true power really lies. So now let's get into some of the features and the other benefits and downsides as well of using this as your community platform. Now, the great thing and the massive difference between using Facebook groups, let's say, and also using Skool is that there's no algorithm. There just isn't an algorithm. Sure, there's filters and so on, but you don't have an algorithm that is pushing down posts and content so that people just don't see them. And you can't get your posts in front of your members. Everybody will see your post. Now, obviously, if you have a very active group, then posts will still get pushed down, but they can filter to see these in a variety of different ways. So there's nothing pushing or hiding anything in there. And you can create posts in very much a similar way to the sort of platforms like Instagram and Facebook that you would expect. You can post videos, share images, text posts, polls, and also share GIFs, so sort of friendly. And you can also do that in the comments as well. So you can do all of this sort of stuff that you would expect from creating a post, but also in the comments as well. And members and yourself can actually filter based on categories, which you get to choose what they are. And people, when they create a post, they have to select a category. You can even create admin categories that only you can use. I do this for my YouTube videos. And then you can also have filters that they can use. The default is the most popular posts will get pushed to the top, but you can either search for new or just have the top ones or the unread ones. So people can actually filter to see what's going on very quickly inside. But a great feature that we have as admins is that we can actually pin up to 3 posts in the top. So you see this got this sort of orangey outline. Those are posts that we can pin to the top of the feed and hold there. So you can have a welcome post, you can have an update and a notification post, you can have somebody's case study or results or a win or a testimonial of one of your members, and they actually get a notification when you pin them. So it's kind of a little bit of a reward for some people that maybe you want to promote the right type of behavior, but you can also pin wins and so on. So it's a great sort of controlling what people see at a glance when they first come into the community. The next one is that we have the ability to email a post out once every 72 hours, so every 3 days. So this is direct mass outreach, which is obviously something we just can't do on Facebook. You could barely, it was very difficult. Sure, they started to bring ManyChat and other stuff into things, and maybe you could start to do messaging, but there was limitations and lots of rules around it, and it was very difficult. So even on a post, we can just tag this on, and what it will do is, even if they've got notifications turned off for the group, perhaps, so they want to see less posts, normally they'll still see posts from you, but maybe they've got other notifications turned off. Well, you have an option to make sure that it's going into their email box directly as well. So not just are they seeing the notification on the Skool app, they also get an email with the more relevant stuff. So this could be you marketing certain things or pushing out important messages, but it means that you've got direct mass outreach to all of your members inside, which is obviously massively powerful because it puts you in complete control of your community. No algorithm, no pay to play, no limitations. It's all there for you to do whatever you want. And it will also advertise your events at the top of the feed that are then shown in the calendar. So in order, it will have one here. It will show live. It will start flashing and counting down as it gets closer to the time. And you can see these events also inside the calendar. Now, this is very useful. People use this in a variety of different ways, from promoting events, promoting their live calls, promoting webinars, promoting launches. They often don't even have a call attached. You can attach a link that could go directly to a sales page. So it's a notification that we can use in a variety of different ways. But the calendar is the main way. And we have a couple of different calendar views for either the list of the different events that we've got up and coming or the standard calendar view. But what is really, really cool about this is that now with these live calls and these events, we basically have built in live calls inside of the Skool platform, which for many will mean no more Zoom. And I actually got rid of Zoom myself as well because it's really, really good. And you can go live at any time. You can create future events. It can be webinars. It can be different things, but it generates a link automatically and people inside can connect to that. But you could literally just click the button in a post and go live anytime you want. So it doesn't have to be pre-planned or anything like that. So this is massively powerful. And you can do the Hangout setup. So the sort of Hangout is where you've got the grid. So you've got different grids. Maybe it's good for, say, up to 6 people. And then maybe you want to go to more of a webinar format. But they've got more of a webinar format where it automatically has settings that limits what other people can do. And it's more about you presenting. And then you can bring people on if you want. And then the other one is just everybody chatting, but you can still mute and have lots of different features. But it has a ton of features. You can record, you can share your screen, you've got chat, you've got lots of different sort of management tools in kind of moderation things that you can do. So this really is a great option and it will be a massive money saver for many. And the benefit of being able to go live directly inside is that it's just a one-stop shop and everything is feeding into the other thing. You're not trying to send someone out of the system itself, which means it just works better. Now, a limitation on this is that you can't do one-on-one calls yet. So it's not going to replace your coaching calls. I still use Google Meets for this. And to be honest, I use the calendar and the email and everything for my domain. So it's kind of not a biggie for me. But it's still way cheaper than Zoom itself. And the call recordings, once you've done a recording, if you recorded the call itself, you will then get a message in the notifications that you have 14 days and it's automatic. And you can automatically create a post on this, or you can download it and then perhaps upload it if you don't want it to be public to everybody, or you want to send out the recordings, or you want to use it for a training, or you want to edit it, then you can download it as well. So it's automatically will create the recordings as long as you record in that call. So I think this is a massively powerful feature that they released in the last year. And the benefit is that you get this with their $9 and their $99 account, which absolutely blows my mind. Some of the things that you get in this is fantastic. And we'll go across a few of the things that are different between these two accounts. But the $9 hobby account is a great starting model, and it shows how serious they are about trying to push Facebook groups out of the market and to try and really dominate. So they've been doing some really aggressive moves with this pricing model. And I will put a link in the video description to where you can get a free 14-day trial for either of these. But let's look at the limitations. So if you've got the $9 account, you've got 10% fees. So that means you're going to be paying 10% fees and not 2.9 that you get with a $99 account, which makes sense. I mean, they are kind of taking a hit for some of the things that you get. It's just absolutely impossible because you're getting all of the features of the 99. Another couple that I'm going to get into in just a moment, which blow my mind that they can actually afford it. So in many ways, I would say that they can't be making a profit out of this $9 account. So I think they're going to be making money in different ways, or just assuming that the people that upgrade, they're going to make money out of. You don't get a custom URL. Now the URL is your skool.com/. You can normally pick that name. So for example, mine is skool.com/profits, and that's it. So it's a nice short URL. It will normally be your name that you set your account up with, and then a whole bunch of numbers. So you don't get to change that when you've got the $9 account. It shows suggested groups. So just down the side, below on the side where you see the profile, you'll see suggested groups there. So as a $9 account holder, you're going to be promoting the $99 account holders. And it's not that anybody's running ads. They can't do that. But Skool's discovery system is starting to recommend similar groups to users. Remember, the ecosystem part is starting to recommend, a lot like Facebook would, groups that they think that you're going to be interested in the suggested part for the $9 accounts. So for those that got a $99 account, there's benefits to more traffics that they're getting, and they're going to show up more in discovery where you won't as a $9 account. And then it's got limitations on plugins such as Zapier, webhooks. You're not going to be able to do certain things such as changing videos for welcome videos and leaving for churn videos, and other things such as Google tracking and also Meta ads tracking. So if you want any of those more advanced sort of tracking features, you are going to have to pay to upgrade. And also, if you want their affiliate system, which we'll chat in a moment about, then this is also a feature that you're going to need for the $99 account. Now, on a quick side note, if you would like help trying to decide on the right setup for your Skool community, the best pricing model, and the best strategies for growing your community, as well as how we leverage YouTube to be able to grow our Skool community, then I will link to our free group in the video description where you can get free training on exactly the strategies that we use, and you can ask me any questions inside. Again, I'll link to that just below in the video description. So the next part is the classroom area for courses. Now, as I mentioned before, it's not really leaning into this. It's quite simple. They're just having the foundations of what you need to make this work as an educator and a course creator. But I kind of think it makes sense if you're kind of coaching first or community first, then the course itself is more just foundational work for them, whereas you're going to be doing more hands-on transformative stuff. Whereas if you're sort of online course driven business and you're more wanting to look at the data in the background to be able to see who's completing what, where they're getting stuck, maybe get them to submit homework and so on, then you're going to need a more advanced platform for that anyways. But inside, you've got the sort of standard lessons with modules or folders that are broken down in the side. You can add text, you can add images, you can add one video to each lesson, and you can also have highlighted links. You can add resources and downloads and download links and so on. So you have quite a lot of options in terms of what you would expect from at least a basic course builder. And they do the basic stuff very well. It all works extremely well. But there's no real tracking, as I just said. So it really depends if you're someone that is okay with that and you're willing to trade off, because it has a little check mark that you can select here. And if they watch the video in full, it would automatically do it. But there's no way to force that. There's no way for us to track how much of the video they watched, if they've done everything, or maybe they did watch it, but they didn't check it, so we don't know. So there's no real tracking in that sort of way. And there's no way for us to for them to be able to ask questions on a particular lesson, unless you attach a post, which is quite cool. I like this. You can attach a post, but obviously the post is going to be open to everyone. So you'll just have to make sure it says after you watch the lesson or something like that. But you can attach a post to the bottom of a lesson. And this is what I do inside my free courses inside our community, where I've just got different little posts attached for people to ask questions and share feedback and take mini actions. So I think this is a great way of adding a bit more to your courses, so they're not so dry and static. But the really big win, which I think is another massive feature, which they added this year, which again makes me think, how are they making money with this with a $9 account? And that's that you get video hosting included for free. Now, when I first started, I was having to use Loom or Vimeo videos for this, and that was an extra $25. And for Loom, which I still use, I think it was like $17. So I was paying about an extra $40 a month just for my video hosting. And then I had Zoom on top. So all of these things that they added made it a no-brainer for me. It immediately saved me money. It canceled out a lot of the money I was even spending having the $99 account. So they just saved me so much money in so many different areas. But video hosting is great. And I can upload all of my videos. This, as far as I know, no limitations. The idea is that they want even your community members, a bit like on Facebook, to be able to upload and share videos. So I think that is such a big advantage and really a big plus for the Skool platform, especially with a $9 account. You just can't, if you're someone just starting out and you don't want to invest a lot of money, you're going to be hard pushed as a course creator, a coach, or anybody to have a platform that can take your payments, host your coursework, manage all of the feedback, communication, and support, and as well as doing all your live calls and email and so on. There's not much you're going to be able to get out there that is going to beat $9. In fact, I haven't come across anything that's going to beat $9 for these types of features that we're getting for that price. So that's a massive one. The next, we've got the members' information. I've obviously blanked some of this out, but you'll be able to chat with people directly, filter based on their membership level and other different things. You can also go into the membership to see what questions they answered, to see how much of courses they've completed, and so on. So this is where you can get great information on your members. And you can filter by people that are canceling, people that are churning. Maybe you want to send a message and say to people, I saw you're leaving. Was there any reason? I'd love some feedback from you, which is always good. And you can also export this information and put it into an email list if you wanted to keep that information separate and have a separate email list so that you're emailing people out of that. And then a nice extra for something that I think is going to be quite a bit bigger this year is going to be meetups. Now, they've got the map feature where you can tell where everybody is around the world. So look at my members scattered all around the world. But I could see this and look and go, oh, wow, okay, even me in Thailand, there's quite a few people on the island and surrounding areas. I could do a meetup and get people together. I could get some of my members together. I could look at the Skool platform itself and start doing meetups to get people to come together to kind of add an in real life aspect to your community as it grows. So I think this is a great feature as well. And then we've got the leaderboard for gamification. I have mixed feelings on this. It's something that I used to use a lot and it was great for driving engagement, but I felt like it was kind of fake engagement to a degree. So use wisely, use with caution, but it is a great way to unlock and reward people for taking action. So what many people are doing is they are unlocking at different levels, different parts of their main program. So you can either pay to get access now, or you can be active in the community and unlock it step by step. So you either pay with your time or you pay with your money, which I think is a great sort of idea. It's a potential strategy. It depends what you're doing inside your community. But gamifying people's activity can be great, especially for people in the beginning. I think the people later on care less about it. From questions that I've asked and from my members and members in other communities, people have very mixed feelings about it. But what I like is that most people like to see who's being more active, who the action takers are. And I think it's a great way to sort of, for you to be able to reward and thank at least the people that are being active in your community each and every month. So yeah, many different ways you can use it. I don't use it that much right now, but it is still great. And then we have the About page for your signups. The About page I have mixed feelings on. I'm like, okay, it's pretty basic. For a while there, they were testing out different sort of page building things to make it more, I guess, like ClickFunnels and page builders, where for that single page, we have more options for the way that it looks. But they suddenly stopped talking about that. That kind of went and got brushed under the carpet. They started saying that this was converting just as well as opt-in pages. So what was the point? And they never changed anything. And they haven't really updated anything since I joined. So it's basically the same. You can have a video, you can have up to 6 videos or 6 things here. So normally you could have one video, you could have testimonials, you could have some different information, and then you've got your profile at the side with a little description and your image that shows even in discovery. And then you've got some text that you can put below in the description, 1,000 characters, small amount of text, and that's it. And this is basically your opt-in and sales page. So you've got to try and sell yourself within that. But people say they're converting pretty well, and it's true. I do think they are, as long as you get aligned, but you need a lot of proof. Free is converting very well. Paid is a little bit more complicated. But obviously, we can use our own pages if we want in between. But for the most part, it is working well. It is converting well. I just feel that it's a little bit basic. Now, the Skool data, this is something they're ramping up massively this year. Maybe at the time you watch this, they've already done more releases. They were talking about telling us where our traffic is coming from, how many people are getting from Skool or other social media platforms and so on. And then lots of metrics in terms of your views and your conversion rates and where people are coming, how long they stay, how much they churn, and everything else. So you can see a huge amount of data, which is something that's obviously often lacking. I would love to see a load more of that data. Maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't, inside the classroom area. So we can see it a little bit more of correlations of what's happening in the back end rather than just the front end. But we've got a lot more data coming our way, which is going to make things a lot easier as course creators and coaches. The next one, which I believe is only for the $99 account people, is that you can use the affiliate system. They have a built-in affiliate system. Now, this is a great way to get your members to refer, and it works even in free communities with courses inside or tiered upgrades and so on. So whatever you turn it on for, if someone brings that lead in, they will potentially get a percentage of the sale. So it's a great way to encourage people to refer and to promote potentially your community. I think this is going to be a big one. in 2026 and beyond, as people realize maybe they don't want to create their own communities, but they do want to promote one that they love and that they're a part of, and then they can make money just by sending referrals. So I think this is going to be really, really good. And you can choose the amount that you're going to pay people from promoting. So if it's $100, they would get $40 of that if you had it set to 40. But what I really like about this and what makes it different from separate affiliate systems is that I don't have to do any of the reporting. It's built in. And by that, it's that Skool at the point of sale separates the money. So it's all done by Skool. We just get paid our part, and Skool automatically pays the person that referred you and your community. It pays the money directly to them. So then it's on everybody to do their own tax returns and so on. We don't have to start manually doing payouts and then saying where those payouts are coming. So it's problematic when the money comes to us and we have to then work it out later on. Skool basically takes the money, waits a period of time to make sure that there's no refunds and so on. Or if there is a refund, it takes it from both people automatically, but it's completely separate. So it just makes it so much easier. And as someone that stopped using the affiliate method for getting people to promote and that sort of thing because of these issues, Skool has fixed it all. So that's absolutely a no-brainer now for me for starting to use. And lastly is the tiers. Now, this is something they've added fairly recently. People love it. It's a bit limited. I'm not going to lie. There's things I like about it and things I don't, which we'll get into. But tiers and freemium is basically where you have the option. So we have free, we have subscription, which is just a paid community. And then we have freemium, which is free on the front end. So like a free community for signing up. But then inside, you've got 2 tiers optional. You can turn VIP off if you want and on. So you can see VIP as being your high ticket, perhaps. And then your premium as being the premium upgrade inside that free people can take. And then you can outline the price for yearly or annually. And then you can talk about all the different benefits inside. And what we can do is we can attach to the premium and to the VIP, we can attach different programs such as courses in the classroom, calls in the community. So maybe you've got different group calls and, you can collect those and we can actually say, this is for people at premium or above. And then for the next one, you could say this one's only for VIP members and so on. So it allows us to separate standard, which is free, and the premium and the VIP, giving us more functionality. And because we can turn VIP on and off, that could be a cohort or that could be a inner circle where you're taking a few people on here and there. It could be something that you turn on and off on calls for selling high ticket. So it's got more functionality in that sense. And then tiers is just free, 3 paid. So it's paid on the front end and then additional tiers inside. So maybe you go low ticket on the front end and then you've got a more premium one inside and then VIP. So this could be community and a course. This could be, say, community course and group coaching calls. And this could be everything else along with one-on-one coaching and support. So you could decide how that works. And a lot of people are doing freemium now. The issue I have is that there are limitations in terms of we can't turn premium on and off, although you can technically switch between free and freemium, which means you could, in a way, turn it on and off and people will still have access to this. You can turn VIP on and off, which is great. But then the key thing that is bugging most people, and I'm not really going to talk about one time, but one time is just where you pay once and you have access. It's not something I recommend for a community because you're going to have to keep paying. And then if someone's paid one time and then you close the community down a month later, they're not going to be very happy. So I think it's better to have a time scale of either 1 year or 1 month involved. But the main thing that people have an issue with freemium currently, which hopefully they will update, is that categories, there's no way to separate the feed. The feed inside is for everyone and everybody sees everything. So there's no way for me to separate based on tier levels. So I can't do a one category for types of posts that are going to be inside premium. So for example, if I was doing coaching inside and I wanted to send a message out to all of the premium people only, I can't do that. If I wanted to share a call recording to only the premium people, I can't do that. If they wanted to get feedback on homework and sort of work that they're doing, and they wanted to create a post that only I could see or other premium members could see, they can't do that. So it pushes things a little bit more into the DMs with the sort of VIP and Premium. But there's still a lot that you can share within Premium anyways. And because you got the calls and everything else separate, I think they'll add this in the near future because there is demand for it. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think Freemium is probably one of the best strategies working right now for people on the Skool platform. So with that said, I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions, just ask in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.